This is Wealth in Public episode 9, and we are going to be talking about cryptocurrency without the hype. Okay, so the crypto people, the crypto bros, they might hate me for talking about that the Bitcoin is going to 1 million or any random altcoin is going to make you rich overnight, because it's not true. I invest in cryptocurrency and I have real money in crypto right now, but I'm not treating it like it's a get rich quick scheme. It's not my lottery ticket. It's a volatile, high risk asset, and the situation that we're actually dealing with today in the middle of this recording is a perfect example of how volatile that asset can be. So today, I'm going to show you my crypto strategy, how I think about crypto, what I'm invested in, how much I actually have invested, the coins I own, and the percentage of my portfolio that crypto is, and some of the rules that I follow. So let's jump right into first things first, the reality check. Let me show you where crypto fits in my overall portfolio. So my total portfolio right now, it's around $30,000. As I mentioned before, that 37 has come down after paying off a collection. So it's about $30,000. So I have about 50% in stocks. This includes my ETFs, my individual companies. I lied. So I have about 25% in stocks as just free investments that I like. I don't have any REITs. I don't have any real estate. None of that stuff. We'll talk about that in the future. I have 50% in my retirement accounts because I want to have money when I'm older. So that's where most of my money is going, but a portion of it is going from there. And then I have another 20% in cryptocurrency. I have those percentages because I believe in the crypto world, but I also am still being hesitant because I did still leave 5%. 5% is just cash that's sitting aside for if we have a major drop like we did today, recently. So if you notice the number, it's not 50, it's not 30, it's not a high percentage. Because why? Because it's a volatile asset. Over the past month, over the past few months, Bitcoin has fallen from $120,000 high down to $63,000 today at the time of me recording this video. That's not something I want to have a majority of my money in at any period of time. Now, the asset class is maturing, which is totally fine, which is exactly why my money is staying in there. But it's fallen significantly. And I don't want to be a part of that rundown because I plan on buying and holding. So crypto can drop 50% in a month. And we're in the middle of it right now, actually. And it's done this multiple times before. It's gone from 60,000 to 20,000. It's proven that it can fall like this. And there's a bunch of factors that play into it. But at the end of the day, it can fall 50% at any time. And stocks can do the same, but they're a little bit more of a mature asset class with a proven track record history of recovery. The crypto market is still very small. It's still very new, and it's still maturing as an asset class. So yeah, but let me be clear. I've made money in crypto and I've lost money in crypto, and I've watched one of my positions. For example, I had HBAR. HBAR was up 256%. And now it's down. I didn't sell it. I said, I'm going to focus on it later. I'm going to hold it and see how high it can go. It's down now. Imagine if I would have sold it. But I'm just saying, that taught me really everything that I needed to know about the space. Now, do I still believe in the coins and stuff that I'm invested in? Absolutely. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But that's the absolute truth. Is this asset class is highly volatile. And you can make a lot of money, but you can also lose a lot very quickly too. So I just wanted to make that clear. So, second thing, what is crypto? What is it actually? So cryptocurrency is a digital currency that lives on a blockchain. Basically, it's a super secure digital ledger that nobody can mess with. It's decentralized, meaning no government or bank controls it, allegedly. The major players, these are the big guys. These are the ones that came to exist. First, it's Bitcoin or BTC. This is the OG. It's created in 2009. Think of it like digital gold. It's a limited supply, allegedly. Only 21 million will ever exist, allegedly. And people buy it as a store of value. You don't really use it for anything else other than a store of value. Of course, you can send in money, but it's like, well, I'm not about to send you $60,000 if I have a Bitcoin. I'm sorry to tell you, player. Ain't finna happen. The next is Ethereum. This is the second biggest. It's not just money, but it's a platform where developers build apps, NFTs, and other crypto projects. So think of it as like the app store of crypto. That's what Ethereum is. For example, smart contracts. Smart contracts can be tied to a real estate purchase, which then you can use to say, well, I'm going to send you 15 Ethereum. And when that 15 Ethereum hits your wallet, the ownership will change over. The ownership of your, let's say your house, will change over to my name. And that will a smart contract will automatically make that happen based off of certain measures. So, yeah. And then there's the third thing is everything else. These are altcoins. Altcoins are just alternative cryptocurrencies, and there are thousands of these. There's thousands of other cryptocurrencies other than them, but some have real use. Most of them are garbage. Some are meme coins, but and some literally are just straight up scams. But there's thousands of these, but they're always altcoins. But there are a few altcoins that I'm interested in that I currently invest in, and I should pull my phone out so I can actually show you guys exactly what I'm invested in. But I'm not going to show you guys any numbers, but I'm going to explain exactly which ones I'm invested in and exactly which ones I have currently in my portfolio. So, okay. Before we get into that, now that we know about the major players, our Bitcoin, our Ethereum, our altcoins, we're going to talk about why people invest in crypto. So there's a few reasons, but potential for high returns. Bitcoin has gone from $1 to $120,000. I don't know where else you could put money and get that kind of return. It's like, man, if I had $1 when Bitcoin was $1, you could have turned $1 into $120,000. Say no more. But it also can fall 50% back to 60K. But I mean, you still up 60K if you bought it at $1. So everybody at $1 is not, everybody who bought it at $1 is not panicking when we see a drop. But number two is people buy crypto for inflation hedge reasons. So governments can't print more Bitcoin like they can print more money. There can never be more made, allegedly. But so they use that as a hedge for inflation because more dollars can always be printed, but more Bitcoin can't always be created. So it's a good hedge against inflation. Now, the third is there's a belief in decentralized finance. Currently, with our US dollar and euros and pounds and different currencies like that, that currency is centralized. So people have a belief in the decentralized world of finance, meaning no specific government or entity has control over the financial situation of cryptocurrencies. And the last but not least is FOMO. You see your cousin make 60K off a dollar. I mean, you ain't gonna try to put that dollar in. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna try. I gotta at least see something. So that's a couple reasons why people would invest in it. But now let's talk about why it's risky. So crypto is extremely volatile. A 30% swing in price in a week is absolutely normal. A 30% swing price down or up in the stock market is wild. That's far too volatile, because to think about something going up 30% and then dropping another 30 within the same week is like, whoa. That's too much risk to worry about. At least for me. I don't know about others, but it's extremely volatile. When you see a swing like that, like Bitcoin recently, it's like you see it fall from 120K to 63 in a matter of a few months is a scary time to be in. The next thing is regulatory uncertainty. So governments are still figuring out rules, regulations for this. So we're still in the wild, wild west of crypto. So when you're in the wild west of crypto, it's like, well, everything's kind of uncertain. There's no legislation backing anything. We only have one piece of legislation in, and I believe that is the Genius Act. I will make sure if I'm wrong, I'll make sure it's corrected in the show notes. But I believe last year was the Genius Act. This year we're going to get the Clarity Act. But currently, the government is still figuring out rules on how crypto will be stewarded by banks, how crypto will be stewarded by people, all those different things. So that's another thing we need to be considerate of in the risks. And the third, there are security risks. If you lose your password, your money is gone. There are billions of dollars worth of crypto that is just gone because people forgot their private keys and they can't find their password. You can't call anybody and say, hey, I forgot my password. You can't send an email and say, I forgot it. So you lose that password, your money is gone. When you keep it on a ledger specifically, when you keep it in a place that like you own your private keys, and we'll talk about private keys maybe a little later when we do a deep dive into crypto. But for the most part, if you have private ownership of your crypto and you lose your private keys, all of it's gone. You're not getting it back. You got to rebuild it back up. You're going to be sick when you have that feeling. The fourth thing we got is there are lots of scams and rug pulls. So, I mean, people are getting scammed. People are putting money in and then everybody's pulling their money out and they lose their money. So there's so much of that going on, which brings me into the last thing. There's no FDIC insurance like you have on a bank account, like you have in some money market accounts. It's like there's nobody to insure your loss. Any money gone, any money lost, it's just you just lost it. That's it. So it can be very risky. So keep that in mind if you decide to invest in crypto, or if you're already invested in crypto. Do your best to make sure you're doing your best due diligence on everything that you're investing in. So now that brings me into my third topic, is my actual crypto holdings. So here's what crypto I actually own and why. So first thing is first, I own Bitcoin. I have about $2,000 in Bitcoin alone. And I own Bitcoin because although it has fallen, it's still the safest play in crypto. It's been around the longest, it has the most adoptions, and major institutions are buying it. So if major institutions are buying it, even when it's falling like this, I want part of that. I want some of that upside too when they experience it. And I treat it like it's my index fund. It's really boring, but most likely it's not going to disappear. So my cost basis, I bought Bitcoin around, let me see what my average cost of Bitcoin is $80,325. So yeah, it's we're down a little bit. I'm down about 20% total. But this is purchasing at this period of time is actually a good time to bring my average down, which is something else we'll talk about in the future. But when I'm say bring my average down, it's like, well, if I bought something at 80 and now I can buy it at 60, then I'm going to go ahead and drop, like my average cost is going to fall as I continue to buy more at this price. But that takes me right into my next investment, which is Ethereum. So I have about 1,800 in Ethereum. Why I own it? Because it's the second longest one that's been around. It's the second biggest. It's the second big guy. So I'm focused on it there. And it actually has real utility beyond just being money, which are smart contracts. There's smart contracts, there's DeFi, there's NFTs. Most crypto innovation happens on Ethereum. And I really believe in that technology. So I don't want to see it. I don't want to not be a part of the upside when it does go to the moon. So when and if it does go up. And what I've learned about Ethereum is ETH is more volatile than Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops 10%, Ethereum might drop 15%. So Bitcoin, it's at a low point, but Ethereum's at its 180-day low. So it's a little more volatile actually. So not by a crazy amount, but it's a lot. The last few things I have, these are my altcoins. So I have Solana. I look at Solana as the Visa of crypto. I mean, it's fast transactions. A lot of different wallets are being built on Solana. There's so many different things going on with Solana. So of course I'm in Solana. Of course. And then I have XRP. XRP is Ripple. We all know what Ripple's doing. Ripple is going, like, XRP is basically, I think about it as the stock into Ripple. And Ripple wants to be the payment rails for the crypto world. And to be the payment rails and settlements of the crypto world, lovely. So I believe in XRP. I believe in their technology. And then I have Chainlink. Chainlink connects everything. It's the technology that connects everything on different multi-layer platforms. It's the link between everything to make everything else work with everything else. So I want to be part of that connector. And then I have Algorand, Hedera, Stellar Lumens, Avalanche, Cardano, and Polygon. I have these because they're ISO 20022 tokens, which means these are the tokens that are on the standard of how banks and larger systems are going to operate. And if you want to learn more about ISO 20022, just research it, look it up on Google. If you want me to do a deep dive, I want you to leave a comment saying ISO 20022. I'll do a deep dive video on it for you, and I'll explain everything that you need to know. Maybe I'll have a special guest to help me explain. But the rest of those that I mentioned, I have those because they are on that standard. And I believe if the large institutions believe in it, I'm convinced. And I think I continue to see them everywhere. So I think we'll be good. I might trim down some of my position, but at the end of the day, I think it'll be fine. Like, I'm sure this is where, I'm sure we'll be good. Now, what I don't own, let's talk about that. There's a couple things I don't own. I don't own meme coins. I don't do meme coins like the Doge, the Shiba Inus, I don't trade the meme coins. I don't go on my Phantom wallet and on the Solana blockchain and trade any of those, Pepe. No, I don't do none of that because I am not gambling. I invest. I put money in technology that I 100% believe in. I'm not here to make a quick flip. I'm not trying to turn $10 into $100,000 in a night. It's too stressful for me because I'm not trying to do all that. I'm not trying to be a part of that. The next thing I don't invest in is brand new altcoins. If it's less than 2 years old, no. If it's not at least 2 years old, no. I don't invest in it. It's not for me. There's others that believe different. There's others that invest in stuff that was just made today. I am more power to them. I'm not doing it. And then anything that I've learned about from a random YouTube ad or Reddit or a random Instagram, I don't invest in those. Do I do research on them? Absolutely. Do I look into them? Absolutely. If I see something that I'm like, okay, this seems to be new, I'm going to look into it, at least do my due diligence. But if it's not 2 years old, more than likely, I'm not investing in it. So that's plain and simple. And that brings me into my crypto rules. So my exact system for investing in crypto without losing my mind. I have 6 rules. My first rule is 10 to 20% cap. Crypto does not exceed 20% of my portfolio because when it grows beyond that from gains, I rebalance by taking profits. Rule number 2 is dollar cost average. Don't lump sum. I'm not going to take $5,000 and dump it into crypto all at once. I buy $100 to $200 per month, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, depending on what things look like. But why? Because I know that whether we're at the top or the bottom, I'm going to spread out my risk. A good example is if I put $200 in a month in for 12 months, I'm buying Bitcoin at 30, 40, 50, and 35K. So my average is going to smooth out with all the volatility. Just same as what's going on now. If I buy at 90, 70, 80, and then 60, or I'm buying at 100 and then 60 and then 59, then my average is going to smooth out through all that volatility. I don't need to be throwing in a bunch of money at one time. If people do it, more power to them, but I like to stay balanced. So rule number 3 is I only buy what I understand. If I don't have an understanding of how this piece of technology works, I'm not buying it. If nobody can explain to me and I understand how it works, I'm not buying it. Plain and simple. That takes 90% of altcoins out of my list immediately. That takes 90% of everything out of my investing immediately. I don't invest in things that I don't understand. I ask about them, I try to learn, and if I don't understand it, if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm not putting my money in it, because why would I put money in something I don't believe? Because I don't even understand it, so how can I believe in it? Rule number 4, hardware wallet for the long-term holdings. Now, I have a hardware wallet that specifically holds everything that I need it to hold. So anything I'm holding for over a year, it goes into the hardware wallet. I have a ledger, but you have there's different types of hardware wallets. With the ledger, perfect. So there's a saying that I have is not your keys, not your cheese. Shout out to the homie for putting me onto that. But yeah, if it's not your keys, if you don't own your private keys, you don't own the crypto. So if an exchange like Coinbase or Kraken or FTX gets hacked or goes away, so does your crypto. I don't think you want that if you want to stay up on it. So different things like that. You could lose all that money. So protect it as best you can. And keep your password. That's another thing. Write it down somewhere. Put it in a safe. Whatever you need to do, keep your password. Number 5, take profits on the way up. When a position doubles, sell 20 to 25 to 50% of it, and then move that money into stocks or an emergency fund, or just have it as reserves. So when you see a drop, whatever it is you feel like doing. But for me, I'll either put it into more stocks, I'll put some cash on the side, and then I'll put some in my emergency fund, and of course I'll set aside some for taxes, depending on how much it's going to get taxed. But this is how I avoid writing all those gains back to zero, because I've experienced it. I mean, I've experienced it recently. I've experienced it in 2021. Now, rule number 6, I never invest my rent money. I never invest money that I need for something else. We don't do that for stocks. We ain't doing it for crypto. And that's plain and simple. So that brings me into the emotional side of crypto. If I'm being honest, if I'm being real, crypto will mess with your emotions if you let it. Investing in general will mess with your emotions, but crypto is kind of amplified because of that volatility. So I've woken up to my crypto portfolio way up. I'm talking about my crypto portfolio at 7K total, just going crazy and continually going up. It's green. This is green. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. And then I've checked back in later that day and it's back down. And it'll make you want to sell everything out and be gone. But when it's up, you feel like a genius. You want to throw more money in. You're like, it's going to the moon. I'm telling my friends. I'm talking to them. Like, you want to check your phone every few minutes. When it's down, you sick. You want to sell everything. You wonder if you just should have bought stocks. You checking up. You stop checking because you're scared. It's like you checking up in there to like, dang, how much more did it fall? It don't matter. But both reactions are emotional and they're not strategic. We focus on strategy over everything. So here's what I do. I check the crypto portfolio. I check it once a day. Sometimes I check it once per week, but I check it once per day because I check my investment account once per day. So I check everything once a day. Once or twice a day, sometimes 3 times, but overall, one to 2 times a day is enough. I have price alerts. So if things drop 25% plus, I know that it fell. So that cash that's sitting on the side, now I can start putting it to work. Voila. I don't panic sell. I just buy more because I do believe in it. And I just believe in it at a discounted price. I remind myself that this is only a small percentage of my total investment money. It's not my entire future. This is a speculative market that's still continuing to grow. And I stick by my monthly investment. I make sure I still invest every month. And this also brings me back to the racial wealth gap. A lot of black and brown folks got into crypto because traditional finance excluded us. Banks didn't want to give us loans. Investment firms wouldn't take us seriously. And crypto felt like it was for us. And I really liked that. But it also means our communities got hit extremely hard when we had things like FTX, or when Luna crashed, or when the meme coins got the rug pulled from them. And we can't afford to gamble with money that we already don't have. We're already behind the 8 ball. We can't be swinging for the fences and making gambles just because this thing called Bitcoin can go from $1 to $60,000. It just means that we have a chance to create some real wealth, and we need to be strategic about how we do it. And this is why I approach crypto with discipline and not hype. Plain and simple. Now, how do you get started in crypto? Like, Javon, I'm here. How do I do it? I want to do it. So if you want to get started investing in crypto, I recommend you follow these 5 steps. Of course, this isn't financial advice. None of this podcast is financial advice. Do your own research, do everything you need to do. But here's a framework for you. Step 1, you want to start small. I'm serious, like start small, like put $50 to $100 in. Just get comfortable with purchasing how it is. The same way we did with stocks. Start with a few dollars and get comfortable with seeing how it works, seeing how you purchase, seeing how you use the platform, how you transfer things. Start with a beginner-friendly exchange like Coinbase or Kraken. Those are the 2 most well-known. I personally go with Coinbase, but I've also used Kraken before. I actually had Kraken when FTX went under and they disappeared, and I had to do the whole lawsuit thing and get all my Solana back that I got, and I only got $38 back. Unfortunately, that sucked. But they actually submitted that to me through Kraken. So Kraken is just as good, but Coinbase, Kraken, they're beginner friendly. Step 2, I want you to start with just Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're the top 2. They're the most well known. We just want to do that. And both Coinbase and other exchanges let you auto buy it for $25 a week or $100 a month. You set it, forget it. It's just like stocks. You're good. You don't have to do it auto buy, but just small amounts, and you're only focused on 2 as you learn and you grow your knowledge. The top 2, they've been the top 2 since inception, so it's all right. Step 4, Step 2, you buy your Bitcoin and your Ethereum first. Don't start with altcoins. Buy those 2. Buy those 2 and establish, just your crypto with just Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're going to be the biggest holdings anyways. Now, step 3 is you want to set up your auto buys. You don't have to do this step if you're not comfortable, but please feel free to set up auto buys so you set it and forget it, and you're investing on a regular basis. And you just, no matter what, it's going up, it's going down. You got some money going in there. So when it does get that extreme run up, you good. You don't have to follow that step if you don't want to, though. I actually manually do it every month, so you don't have to. But step 4 is learn about wallets. If you plan on holding long term, research different hardware wallets. I use the Ledger and the Ledger X. It's kind of like a USB drive for crypto, but learn about which ones you want to do. A piece of advice I can give is do not buy them from a third-party seller. Do not go on Amazon and purchase a Ledger. Go straight to Ledger's website and purchase a Ledger. You don't want something coming from a third-party app that you hold your money on, because you don't know what's going on with it. So buy it direct from that platform. So if you go at Ledger, which is my recommendation, go straight to Ledger's website. Do not buy it off of Amazon. And I recommend you do not buy any other hardware wallet from Amazon or a different platform or different third-party sellers like that. Go straight to that company's website. Yeah. And then step 5, ignore the noise. All these crypto influencers, they're like, you're going to get 100,000x return. You're going to get 1,000 per turn. Cut the noise, man. Cut the noise. Follow the investors. Follow, Earn Your Leisure, the Aristotle Investments, the Wall Street Trappers. There's so many more. The Graham Steffens, the Vincent Chans. Follow those guys. They're going to explain things to you in a way that, you'll understand. And they're not going to tell you that you're going to get 100K. You're going to turn $10 into 100K over. No, because it's not true. Anybody that tells you that, they're telling you a lie. Focus on that and focus on learning what that technology is, and then build your belief in it and invest. Now, in closing, Crypto is definitely part of my wealth building strategy, but it is the smallest part for a reason. It's still speculation. I believe in it, but it's still a new space. I'm not betting my entire future on it. I'm treating it like any other high risk investment. It's high risk, high reward. And it's an asset that deserves at least a small percentage of my attention and at least a small percentage of my money. And over the past few years, it's gotten more and more of my belief, which is why that percentage has increased, but it's not increased by a crazy significant amount. The people who lose everything in crypto, I mean, they go all in, they chase the hype, they invest the money that they need for bills, they invest money that they could use for something else. They're not disciplined with how they do it. That's not me. And the people who build wealth crypto, they treat it seriously. They manage their risk, and they don't let emotions drive the decisions. They really try to be strategic about everything that they're deciding to do. If the banks are going to be strategic about what they do, I need to be strategic about what I do. I've got a little under $3,000 in crypto right now. A little under $5,000, in crypto right now. And if it goes to zero tomorrow, I will still be fine. And if it 10x's over the next decade, beautiful. You might not see me in this podcast room. I might be coming to you from Bora Bora, player. I ain't even gonna cap. But it depends. Either way, I'll be fine. And that's how you invest in volatile assets. You do strategy. You don't do hope. You don't do emotions. You utilize real strategies.